the day our Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. And the reason we're having three services to mark the three stages of the trial, the sufferings, and finally the crucifixion of our Lord Jesus Christ, the time he spent on the cross. This is why we have these three services to remember those days and to pray on those days. When we do this, by telling God that we appreciate what he did, we appreciate what Lord Jesus Christ did on the cross for us, how he went and died for you and I. So this passage in the book of Mark talks of his trial. It says, straight away in the morning, the chief priest held a consultation with the elders and the scribes and the whole council, and they bound Jesus and carried him away and delivered him to Pilate. See, the Jews could not crucify anybody. Crucifixion was a Roman way of putting people to death. It was not the Jewish way. The Jewish way given to them was to stone people to death, which was even more painful. So they had no right to kill anybody because they were being ruled by the Romans. So the best they could do if they wanted to kill Jesus is to report him to the Roman authorities and get him killed through that way. So they bound him and they had to take him to Pilate, who was the Roman governor at the time. Now, it says that in the morning, that means that he had been arrested in the night when he was the garden that was celebrated last night. How he was arrested, how Judas betrayed him with a kiss, and how the servants of the chief priest arrested him and took him and bound him. So early in the morning they had a meeting and they decided to deliver him to Pilate. So Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered, and he answered and said unto him, "Thou sayest it." So Jesus claimed his rightful position as the king of the Jews when Pilate asked him. Now, Pilate asked that question because he knew that the chief priests were accusing him. It was because of envy. That's why they asked him that question. So the chief priests accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. Jesus did not need to defend himself. He knew the end of the trial. He knew that he had to die. And there was no point in defending himself. Anything we said that we used to accuse him later on. So he answered nothing. This was, if you are falsely accused, and you know you're right, you don't have to defend yourself. God himself will defend you. So Pilate asked him again, saying, don't you answer anything? Because he expected him to start defending himself and remonstrating and trying to prove his innocence to save his life. But he said, "Behold, how many things they witness against thee." But Jesus yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. Because Pilate was used to all the prisoners, all the people brought to him, shouting, defending themselves, displaying their innocence and all these things. But he said, what kind of man is this? He doesn't even care that he might be killed, that he might go, be sentenced to death. Isn't he bothered? He didn't know that Jesus already knew what was going to happen. He didn't have to defend himself. So you and I too, when people falsely accuse us, when they come against us, let God defend you. You don't have to defend yourself. God himself will do it. So, at that feast, he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. So it was customary at the Passover feast that they would release one prisoner to the people. And there was one named Barabbas who had been bound, and he had raised up a riot against the government and committed murder in the insurrection. In other words, had killed people. So the multitude cried out to desire him to do as he had ever done to them. In other words, they wanted Pilate to release a prisoner as a custom, just like here too, or in any other country. At the anniversary of the Independence Day, there's what's called a presidential pardon, or where they release many prisoners, even though they're guilty, but it's just an act of mercy, and they're released. So that's exactly the thing that's happening here. So the crowd began to cry out, asking him to release Barabbas, because Barabbas was the one who was he protested against the Roman government and been arrested, so they wanted him released because he was their leader. But Pilate answered and said, "Will you that I release unto you the King of the Jews?" In other words, instead of Barabbas, shall not release Jesus to you? Because he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. You see, this envy is the spirit of murder. It was the envy that made Cain kill his brother Abel. When you have envy in your heart, so be very careful, because the next thing, it will lead to you committing murder, directly or indirectly. So because of the envy of the chief priests, the envy Jesus because the crowds that followed him, and they were afraid that he was going to take away their living, their supports, all the business they used to do in the temple. The people are not doing it anymore, they all go to Jesus. So they were threatened by him. I remember Papa Shofar, when he was in Dahomey, he had to leave Dahomey because the government felt threatened by him. And he was afraid that they would arrest him and kill him because there were so many crowds following him. They felt that he could just overthrow them. So before they did anything, he quickly left. So this is what happened to Lord Jesus. The chief priests felt threatened by him because of his popularity, and they arrested him for that reason. They went to get rid of him. So if where you're working in your family are very popular, don't think everybody's going to be happy with you, happy with your success. Oh no, even your family, your own relatives, your own brothers will be envious of you. And they might not show you, but inside they say, who is he? How come he's doing this? How come he's doing that? And they want to pull you down. So you must be very careful. So for the chief priests moved the people that they should rather release Barabbas unto them. So the people were like being controlled by the chief priests. The people had to do what the chief priests wanted because they had so much authority. So the jury said, no, you must shout for the release of Barabbas, not for Jesus. Because they wanted Jesus, not Barabbas, killed. Now, Barabbas was a murderer. Jesus was completely innocent. But you can see what envy would drive people to do. They knew that Jesus was innocent. They knew that they had nothing against him. They knew they arrested him falsely. But because of the envy against him, they rather wanted the people to cry for Barabbas. And Pilate answered and said again to them, what will you then that I should do unto him whom you call the King of the Jews? And they cried out again, crucify him. Now, you're surprised to see how can the same people who Jesus had healed, fed over 5,000 twice, and raised the dead to life, opened the eyes of the blind, opened the ears of the deaf, made the lame walk. That kind of person in the community, there's no way people can start crucifying him because he had done so many good things. That was like Jesus went about doing good. So I can now say this to crucify the do-gooder, the people, the person who healed them, who raised their dead to life, who fed them. I can say crucifying him. That's not logical. That was because he was instigated by the chief priests. They were behind that. So Pilate said to them, why? What evil has he done? They cried out the more exceedingly, crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, to please the people, very important point, he released Barabbas unto them and delivered Jesus when he escorted him to be crucified. You see, Pilate was a people pleaser. He did not have a mind of his own. He would bend wherever the people wanted him to bend. You and I have the same responsibility. When we are faced in a situation, do we please the people or do we please God? There are going to be people pleasers who cannot please God. See, Pilate, he knew Jesus was innocent and he had authority to say, no, there's nothing against him, no, I'm going to release him. But he wanted to please the people. See, you got to choose. Are you a friend of God? If you're a friend of God, you won't be a friend of the world. Or do you want to be a friend of the world and displease God? See, Paul said that if I still want to please people, why am I still fighting beasts in Ephesus? You're going to make up your mind. I want to please God. I don't care what people say, because at the end of the day, it's God that will judge me, not the people. And so he told them to scourge Jesus. Scourging is a very painful process. As I said last night, they used to tie them to a pole. If you watch the movie Passion of the Christ, you see how it was done. They would tie them to a whipping post, their hands tied together around the post. They would take off their clothes and they use the kind of iron tails with lead tips in it. In fact, in that movie, the false soldier first of all whipped the posts. He whipped the posts and he tore it, and when he tore it, the lead tips removed the back of that wooden post. So that was exactly what happened to the back of Jesus. His back was torn to shreds with that whipping they did to him. So they led him away and they called together the whole band. Can you imagine? The whole band of soldiers were beating him. They clothed him with purple, put a crown of thorns about on his head. They began to salute him, "Hail, King of the Jews," and they smote him on the head with a reed, spat upon him, and bound down his worship. And that was mocking him. Now you have to remind you that how can soldiers who did not know Jesus, who was not condemned, he had no crime, I'm sure many of them would have benefited from the good deeds that Jesus did. Many of them were fed, maybe some of their enemies were healed, Yes, there was this thing inside them that made them do this to somebody who was innocent. That is the spirit of Satan. When people act without reason like this, it's a spiritual wickedness, And the crown of thorns was even worse because those thorns were very sharp pointed and they pushed it upon his head. So it would have entered the skull, the skin of the skull in his head, but bleeding profusely, penetrating everything around his head. How can people do so much wickedness to somebody who is innocent? Because they were inspired by Satan. So, when they had mocked him, they took off the purple from him. The purple was supposed to represent his role as a king, because they said, "You are the king of the Jews. Well, let's worship you." And they mocked him as a king. They spat on him, they beat upon his head. So finally they removed the purple cloth, put on his own clothes, and led him away to crucify him. So we see how his trial, Jesus did not defend himself because he knew the end. He knew he had to go and die on the cross. Therefore, all the things said against him, he did not bother to defend himself. And the chief priests instigated the people to cry for the release of Barabbas rather than an innocent man who had healed them, who had delivered them because of the spirit of envy. And they achieved their aim because Pilate, they found in Pilate a sympathizer who was a people pleaser, who rather pleased people than God. Because of course he didn't know who Jesus was. He was not a believer, he was a Jew. And to him, it's just another Jew. These people who wanted him killed. And that's their own problem. He didn't care who's, So we see how Jesus went through the trial and was finally delivered for the scourging and finally sent him to the cross. So we learn from this that God's going to help us when we're accused. Then God be the judge, to take complete control of us. Then to also pray against the spirit of envy, which eventually leads to murder. I want to appreciate the sacrifice that Lord Jesus Christ paid. How? Can you imagine the pain on his head? And they pushed that crown of thorns on his head. And they beat on him. In fact, the Bible says that they pulled at his beard. Can you imagine how painful that would be? So Jesus definitely had a beard when he was on the earth. And they pulled it out. And they beat him with a stick and spat upon him. And so many things they did to him that was not recorded. The Bible says that he was mad. He was beaten more than any other man. So his body was completely shredded by the time they finished with him. The picture we see on the cross really is not a true picture. The body of Jesus was not intact by any means by the time they crucified him. His body was completely shattered. It's even amazing that he was still alive. It's just because death could not kill the sinless man. That's why he was still alive. Had it been any other man, would have died long before then. So we have to appreciate the sacrifice and Now the song says that we owe a debt you could not pay. You paid a debt you did not owe. We owe a debt. What it is for us, you and I, that's why we're here today. And the least you can do is to accept the sacrifice and honor and obey Him. May God bless you.